Welcome everybody.
So the intention for us today, for tonight, for this whole series, I mean, I've literally had checkinginward.com, Twitter, Facebook for probably 3 years. It's been a very important thing to me to find a space where we can come together and just give ourselves permission to check inward, to just admit to ourselves, kind of filled with anxiety, kind of filled with joy, filled with frustration, concern, whatever that is, and to actually have a safe place to find different ways to work through it without dogma, without without anything heavy or that could be a put off, because that's always been a thing for me, just to make sure that the language and the intention and the mode is available to everybody.
Inclusive. I think
very inclusive.
Julia and I really strive to be the bridge between communities, and the intention is to uplift the human spirit. And so we're going to be starting this series with different speakers that we feel just completely come from the heart and have a universal message. And so we're going to just start off by singing a couple of songs. And the first one is our friend Drake's favorite song. And this is a song about friendship. And this is thank you for being here tonight. Driving in my car today, I'm trying to find some color in a world gone gray. I heard an old song, made me leap inside. I thought of you and our love, and then I cried, 'cause I remember the twinkle in your eye, a fire in my heart, a bond of understanding that can't be torn apart. Remember a time when your lungs filled with song, it was a new sensation. You knew that you belonged. 'Cause I remember, dream unspoken by us all, a love that broke down in every wall. And I remember it all. It seems so easy to forget the splendor of a single sunset, the importance and the beauty of friendship. It keeps us alive, we can never let it slip. 'Cause I remember photographs and phone calls, visits and the letters, help me paint the pictures which over time have weathered. Sing to you of who we were then, all that we are, and what we'll be when we meet again. 'Cause I remember a dream unspoken by us all, a love that broke down every wall. And I remember it all. I remember, dream unspoken by us all, a love that broke down every wall. And I remember it all. We're all part of a child in space.
Ira will help feed the words. I mean, I think that this is super important as we're watching what's going on out there. There's not one of us here in this session tonight that is feeling any kind of what? Help me out with that. I mean, I think, there's a little instability. It's okay to admit that.
There's uncertainty. Uncertainty, and that's why we're here to help each other out, to ground each other. We're all part of a child in space.
It's true.
We're all part of a child in space. One body, one heart, one race. One body, one heart, one race. We're all atoms dancing face to face. We're all atoms dancing face to face. And the bond that we can't see between us, it keeps us in this place. While the lifetime wrestles with the right, the belly goes hungry, and eyes shut tight. If I could reach across the great divide, our tears would become nourishment and heal us from inside. And the darkness would fade. If I could hasten the day.
Start with some oohs with us.
We're all part of a child in space. We're all part of a child in space. One body, one heart, one race. One body, one heart, one race. We're all atoms dancing face to face. We're all atoms dancing face to face. And the bond that we can see between us, it keeps us in this place. One body, one heart, one race. Yippee! Thank you. So, we wanted
Put
to
all that
make
energy
sure
out
that
there.
we had some beautiful, beautiful energy to go with us tonight, and we've chosen our first guest very carefully because we've been friends with Randolph Powe for a very, very long time.
Very, very long time. We've been on very similar paths for a very long time, and I think I wrote on one of the advertisements that he is not only a very dear friend, he is our best man. And by that, we mean that he literally was holding one of our hookah poles on the day we were married.
Yes, he was. He was my best man.
He was literally our best man.
And for as long as I've known him, he has always been the person to help ground me and, just to, put things into perspective. And he's a meditation instructor. He's a yoga instructor. He's a phenomenal, wonderful, inspirational leader.
He is who we go to when we need
An extra bit of ground
That's
wire.
right. He is somebody that we are very happy to introduce to you. So Drake Randolph Powe from Minnesota.
It's all good. Yes.
And you can just tell us more about yourself, introduce yourself to all of our friends here, and we're going to be going back and forth with songs, and we're actually going to put some meditations in here. I think in general, we're hoping that the spirit of the hour is really going to help us take us into the week and beyond. And he's also going to be giving us some tools for those moments for breathing, et cetera, et cetera. So, Drake.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be part of this sharing and this giving of each other. You know, it's so true. You know, it's been so many years. I think your wedding was like in 1999. Was that what it was? Something like that. You know, and instantaneous.
2000. Yeah.
And
2000. Yes.
Oh yeah, 2002.
I don't know if you can see it, but I seem to have it seems to be an issue with my computer because the color is gone here. I don't understand.
There's a filter for that.
Yeah, I gotta get that. It seemed to go. But the very first thing I'm gonna do is ring the bell. Now it may go out for you over your microphone, but it's important to do something ceremonial. So I'm just gonna ring the bell. The bell is about waking up. So here we go. And I would ask you to take a nice breath in and make a nice ah sound. Ah. Let the breathing come back to normal. So yes, time has gone by quickly. I don't know if it's true for you, but it's certainly true for me. Time is instantaneous. At one moment we're 18, and next moment we're 57. You know, the next moment we go beyond that. I used to be a massage therapist many years ago, and I remember having a client. She was in her late 80s at the time, and I was like 28. And you know, she told me that one of the things she told me is that if she was in her 70s, I would be in trouble. So this gives you an idea of what this lady was a fireball. Okay, but one of the things she told me, she said that, you know, how quickly time had gone for her, how quickly time had gone past. You know, I was with another person, you know, one of the things, so I teach meditation practice. I'm a public speaker. I also, you know, I do weddings. I've done funeral, you know, all kinds of stuff. And I was with one client as she was passing away, and she told me that she still felt the same inside. She still felt the same inside. And so, you know, I think this is important for us to realize the instantaneous nature of life and the importance of living in a way that we're going to feel comfortable as we pass out of this world, because we pass out of this world with the same experience as we live. So if we're living with anger, with hatred, that's how we pass out of the world. And I would suggest that's not the most effective way. Now, I'm 57 years old, and I've been doing meditation practice since I was 11 years old. And the first entrance I got into being involved with any sort of Eastern philosophy was a show called Kung Fu in 1972. Does anybody remember that show? Well, that show had a big influence on me. And so now I want to suggest to you that no one starts doing meditation, and no one I knew ever even heard of the term. You don't go on a lifetime journey like that unless there's a reason. And I grew up in a situation that was extremely intense. I was very afraid. I grew up in an Irish community, Nancy says she can't get audio. Is everyone else hearing my audio okay? Okay, all right. Okay, so I grew up in a super intense community, and so I grew up often chased and afraid. She says to everyone, raised volume. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to use my tech person for that, my brilliant tech person. So, but anyway, I grew up in a situation in which I was afraid, and it was a very, very intense situation. And so gradually over time, when I left there, I found that I was still being afraid. Now, currently, I live in Minneapolis, and I live in the Powderhorn neighborhood. And I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but this is where Mr. Floyd was murdered, right? Just a couple blocks away from me. So it was very intense, and it kind of connected me to that. And so I really have a passion for helping people to shift these kind of emotions. Now, what happens for me is when I go and I do these presentations, people are shocked because I tell people I have faith in humanity. Wow. That is crazy, isn't that? Isn't that? Wow. I have so much faith in us. But I have faith in us because I understand what I need to do in order to de-escalate my heightened emotions. And I would suggest if the first thing that we need to do in order to shift our relationship to what's happening is shift our relationship to our own emotions. So the very first thing I'm going to say before I pass it back to Ira and Julia is I want to share with you a de-escalation template. I want to suggest to you that there's nothing more important than learning how to de-escalate a conflict. I wanted to say that this time is happening for us and not to us. And it's happening for us so that we can become our best selves. We all dreamed of becoming the best we could be. Well, we should have been more particular about that, because being the best that we can be means being in situations that draw out your best side, which means being in a challenging situation. And one of the things that we want to get good at is learning how to de-escalate. So I'm going to share with you a very simple de-escalation template. So I'm asking you, anytime that you find a conflict, and it's important that you practice it before you have the conflict. You can't wait to do a fire drill while the fire is happening. At least it's not going to be as efficient, right? So what I'm asking you to do is to practice this occasionally, just throughout the course of your day. So the very first thing I'm going to ask you to do, if you have a conflict, the very first thing, and let's practice it together right now. The very first thing, sitting up, begin to breathe. Slow your breathing down. Slow your breathing down. As soon as you become aware of the conflict, as quickly as possible, begin to slow your breathing down. So there's 4 elements to this. The second element is we're going to bring our awareness into our hara, an inch below the navel and a half an inch in. So slow your breathing down and bring your awareness into the hara, an inch below the navel and a half an inch in. Just be aware of it. Now, another thing that happens when we have a conflict is we develop tunnel vision. It's like a post-hypnotic, suggestion where we fall asleep and we can only focus on the person we're upset with. If you can only focus on that person you're upset with, you're not going to find solutions. This is also true when you're afraid. That idea of the deer in the headlights. So we're slowing our breathing down, bring awareness into the hara, and widen your awareness. Notice your peripheral vision. I have bookshelves on this side, and there's a washing machine over here. Notice your peripheral vision. And notice subtle sounds. Can you hear anything in your house? Any traffic outside? So we're doing 3 elements at this point. Slowing your breathing down, bring your awareness into the hara, and widen your awareness. Don't allow yourself to have tunnel vision. This will allow you to come up with solutions that surprise. This is what I call non-linear de-escalation. When you come up with a de-escalation that surprises both you and the other person. And the last element is simply to say the phrase, I am. So let's do it. Sitting up tall, slowing the breathing down. And as you're doing it, just relax your shoulders, slowing the breathing down, bring awareness into the hara, an inch below the navel and a half an inch in. Widen your awareness, notice details. Feel your big toe on your left foot. And say the phrase, I am. I am. I am.
It's so isolating to ride upon this cycle with the fear
lucidity, become an addict to validity. I take myself out of my prime. I have time. I have time. If I step out of the story, then I get the chance to see there's a bigger picture here, something more for me. I am here and I am needed. I will stand up and be greeted by what comes my way. I will fill my day with love, with love, with love, with love, with love, with love. Always justifying my existence, always chained to my reactions. In a moment of resistance, I might get some satisfaction. And saying that there's not enough, I'm holding on to scarcity, clinging to adversity, as if I've got it rough. I have enough. I am enough. If I step out of the story, then I get the chance to see there's a bigger picture here, something more than me. I am here and I am needed. I will stand up and be greeted by what comes my way. I will fill my day with love, 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 with love. I am here and I am needed. I will stand up and be greeted. I am here and I am needed. I will stand up and be greeted. I am here and I am needed. I will stand up and be greeted. I am here and I am needed. I will stand up and be greeted. I am here, I am needed. I will stand up and be greeted. I am here, I am needed. I will stand up and be greeted. With love, here and I am with needed. Love, with I will stand up and be greeted. With love, I'm here and I am needed. I will stand up and be greeted with love, 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 with love. We actually have Drake Randolph Powe to thank for that song.
That's right.
We were teaching at a summer camp for children with cancer, and we were taking a nap, and Drake called me and said, why don't you write a song and you talk about your fears and your process? That'll help people out. And because I was asleep, I got up and started to write without having my ego get in the way or my, critic get in the way. So I just wrote a bunch of stuff down. And Julia was like, yeah, this is good. Let's read it. So, thank you.
Beautiful.
A song. So yeah, we have Drake to thank for that.
Again, that song was exactly what we're talking about. You know, finding that balance. I call it balancing the inner and the outer world. You know, if you imagine someone who loses their keys, you know, if there's an old, you know, meditation story about this. You know, you're walking along and you see someone searching diligently underneath a street light, and you ask him what he's looking for. And he says, well, I've lost my keys. And you begin to search diligently for this person's keys. And after about 15 or 20 minutes, you say, well, are you sure you lost them here? And he says, no, I lost them at my house, but there's more light right here. Right? The point is that you're never going to find what you lost if you don't look in the place that you lost it. And so this is what balancing the inner and the outer world is about. We're not going to find our groundedness and our calm in the hands of the outer world, because it's out of balance. It's like someone stumbling forward. I don't know if you guys have been conscious of this, but in the last 10, 15 years, we've had a proliferation of zombie movies. Have you guys noticed that? Zombie movies, zombie TV shows. Sometimes they're like vampires, but they're really zombies. They act the same way, or some disease, and everyone turns into vampire. Well, you know, what happens is that, you know, you have these people who you know, love, you know, have their loved ones. As soon as that loved one becomes a zombie, suddenly they become part of them. It's us versus them. And once the person goes them, they never can go back. Once you go zombie, you can never go back. Once you go zombie, you can never go back. And so I don't know if you guys are noticing that, but we have some of that right now. We have some of this element. Once someone is on that side, they're never the twain shall meet. And so the first thing that I want to talk about in terms of balancing the inner and the outer world is understanding that if you demonize, that you are always going to get lost in conflict. There's no way to avoid it. I'm not talking about not setting limits. That's not what I'm talking about. You can set limits without demonization. You know, we want to remember something. We only hold our values at a certain level. If the person that you have a conflict with has a more committed relationship to their values than you have to yours, you'll shift into their values. So if the person is filled with hatred and they are more dedicated to hatred than you are to love, guess what? You're going to find yourself hating that person. And I would suggest this is not the most effective way. You know, we have to heal the breach, the fracture, and essentially that means dealing with ourselves. If you have a mathematical equation and you have an outcome that you don't like, and I would say that many of us are not comfortable with what we've seen happen in our world, certainly not me in my neighborhood. You have to start at the beginning of the equation regardless of what's going on. And the beginning of the equation is you and your relationship to your own emotions. Imagine this. Do you guys remember, what was that? Oh, God, I'm trying to remember. There used to be this thing we used to do. I remember they were called parties. Do you remember parties? Remember that? Where you would get together and you'd all go to somebody's house and you have a whole bunch of people there. Sounds like science fiction now. But imagine you're at a party and you're arguing about let's say the presidential election. And you're arguing about the election and it's really getting heated. You're really getting angry. And the couch that you're sitting on, someone had been on this couch earlier in the evening and someone had lost a cigarette in that couch, and suddenly the couch bursts into fire. I would suggest that once you realize the couch you're sitting on is on fire, that your priorities should shift. It's now about putting out the fire. If you don't put out the fire first, you are not going to be effective. The fire is your internal inflammation. It's your own relationship to anger, to rage. We have to have people who are awake. And believe me, I understand why people are angry. I just don't think it's effective. It's not going to be effective because you're going to antagonize people that you want to move to your side. And it's not effective because eventually we have to find a way to heal the breach. So my suggestion is by learning how to calm yourself, you can learn how to calm the situation. Slow your breathing down, bring your awareness into the hara, widen your awareness, and say the phrase, I am. And understand how important you are. I want to bring up a couple more elements, and then I would like to take us through a meditation on, but imagine this. I want to describe to you how important you are. You would not feel as bad as you sometimes feel if you really knew how important you were, because you are effective. What you feel goes into the world. So, imagine this. Imagine you're on a plane and you're here in Minneapolis, and you're going to go to the East Coast. You're going to go to New York City, and you start talking to people on the plane, and everyone you talk to is going to Los Angeles. This is a sign. You're on the wrong plane, right? So what I'm saying is part of balancing ourselves is we have to have some people who are going to the same place, and that place is calm. If you have a glass of water and you're dropping drops of food coloring in the glass, there's a certain drop. When you drop it in, that glass of water shifts to that color. All of a sudden, the whole becomes purple. Who knows which of those crucial drops is the crucial one? Might be you. It might be you. So what I'm saying is we have to be committed to calm, and we have to be committed to our essential values. It's important for you to know what's valuable to you. And you can't give your values, you can't sell them cheaply to someone else who has something that you have no desire for. Okay? My values are kindness, compassion, joy, and positive indifference. Kindness, which is to be like kin, we're all one. Compassion is to feel each other's experience. Joy is not happiness. It's to be on purpose. And that purpose is to help heal this breach and also help to bring a sense of respect to people who have not been respected. And the final one is positive indifference. Positive indifference, which I actually got from Buddhism, which was indifference, but indifference, in our modern lexicon, indifference is not a positive term. Positive indifference means to me that no matter what happens, we got this. Whatever happens in this election, we got this. Whatever happens in the world, if we are committed, we can make a difference. Darkness is banished by light. So I want to do another quick stress reduction practice, and I'm going to pass it back to Ira and Julia. I want to do a practice to help calm ourselves down. I have this feeling, I tell people that I want to be in the Avengers, and I want my name to be middle-aged man. That's going to be my superhero moniker, middle-aged man, and I'm going to have the spandex on and everything, but I got a pot belly, so it's not going to look quite as good on me. But my superpower is being calm and slightly optimistic. And that's a superpower. I don't know if you know that, but that's a superpower, to be calm and slightly optimistic. And that's because I'm not relying on my psyche to get there. I'm doing practice that are visceral and overwhelming. So let's do just another couple of practices and go back to some of this incredibly orienting and beautiful music. So I'm going to ask you to sit up tall. We're going to do a rhythm practice, and then we're going to shift it to one more before we go on with the music. So sitting up tall, breathing slowly and easily. Establish the breath first. Slow breaths in through the stomach, through the rib cage and chest. Chest falls, squeeze the stomach gently. And just get into that rhythm of breath, breathing slowly and easily. And now at the very same time, on your thighs or the table that you're at, I'm going to ask you, as you're breathing slowly, to beat out a very fast rhythm with the hands. Slow breaths in and out. Now slow the speed of the hands by 1/4. So now they're going 3/4 speed. Slow breaths in and out. Now to half speed. Breathing slowly and easy. Now slow the hand to 1/4 speed. Slow it down even further. Keep the breath slow. Take a breath and a magnificent sigh. Ah. Chest is up. Let the breathing come back to normal. Just notice relaxing through the feet, through the lower legs, the shins and calves, breathing slowly and easily. Relaxing through the upper thighs and hips. Let gravity receive your weight. Chest is up slightly. Breathing nice and easy, breathing all the way through the stomach and chest. And as you exhale, let the shoulders and hands and fingers relax. Releasing the jaws. Let the entire face go, just breathing slowly and easily. Breathing slowly and easily. Listening carefully. Listening for any sounds and listening for the beauty of music.
All this pain, if it were rain, the earth would drown again. Breathing in, draw it out, and with this breath I send relief, relief from all this grief. I know I cannot hide. My heart breaks open to reveal the endless love inside. All this pain, if it were rain, the earth would drown again. Breathing in, draw it out, and with this breath I send relief, relief from all this grief. I know I cannot hide. My heart breaks open to reveal the endless love inside. The endless love inside. The endless love.
Tonglen is a Tibetan Buddhist practice, and it's very specific. Typically, you're breathing in the good, and you know that you can do it different ways. You can breathe in the good and exhale out the bad. And if you're doing that, oftentimes you would visualize smoke coming out as you're exhaling the toxicity out. You can also breathe in the bad and exhale out the good, where you're purifying the energy. I actually don't suggest people do that. I think that the energetic states are too heavy, especially right now, unless you're really, really together with your practice. I suggest not doing that, but that is traditionally one. But I'm going to take us through a different version of both of those. And so I'm going to take us through it together in a guided meditation, if you would, be open to that. So let's go ahead and get relaxed. Let's go ahead and bring the chest up and relax the hands, relax the jaws, and just be patient. Infinite patience brings about immediate results. Hear that. Infinite patience brings about immediate results. Breathing slowly and easily. Now you can tell how patient you are by how tight your jaws feel. I see some impatient people there. There's some tight jaws. Relax your jaws. Release your jaws and just feel it. When your jaws relax, it changes your whole relationship to your face. It changes your lips. When your jaws relax, your lips become softer and more full. When your jaws relax, it takes the strain out of your face. The eyes are able to be more relaxed, and the center of the forehead releases. Breathing slowly and easily. Now relax the jaws and the hands at the exact same time. Let the hands be soft. Release the jaws and the back of the neck through the base of the skull at the same time. And the jaws and the center of your forehead, and let relaxation spread throughout your body. Now, if possible, your eyes are closed, breathing slowly and easily. It's okay if you don't have your eyes closed. Do what feels good to you. But if you have your eyes open, drop your eyes and just have a soft vision. Breathing nice and easily. The very first thing I'm going to do with your eyes closed, I'm going to ask you to remember what your house looks like. Remember the front door of your house, the house you live in right now. You know what it looks like. Come into the house and just look around. Imagine the house as it is right now, except for with no people. Just look around the house. The living room, breathing slowly and easily. Where is the couch at? Go into the kitchen. You know what your kitchen looks like. Is there a kitchen table? Breathing nice and easily. Where's the refrigerator? Go into your bedroom. Breathing nice and easily. Just take a look around your bedroom. And now take a nice breath. Sigh a blessing into the house. Breathing nice and easily. I'm going to ask you to go to 2 more homes. Let's go to a house you lived in your 20s. Anytime in your 20s, I bet you can remember a place you lived in your 20s, breathing slowly and easily. Remember a house you lived in your 20s. Go up to the front door and walk in. It's still there. It's still in your memory. Remember the living room. Did it have hardwood floors? Where was the couch? Breathing nice and easily. Remember the kitchen. What did the kitchen look like? And go into the bedroom. Take a look in the bedroom of a place you lived in your 20s. It's still inside you. Let's take a nice breath and a nice sigh. Breathing nice and easily. Let's do one more. Let's go back to a childhood home. A lot of us have trouble with some childhood homes. Don't force yourself. You can find one that feels better if it's okay. So breathing nice and easily, go up to your childhood house. You still remember it. What was the front door like? When you went in the house, what was to the right? The living room. Where was the couch? Breathing nice and easily, going into the kitchen. And finally, your childhood bedroom. Breathing in deeply, look around, and as you exhale, sigh a blessing into the bedroom. The breathing, come back to normal. Now relax the jaws, breathing nice and easily. And now we're about to step into Tonglen practice. So as you breathe in nice and easily, I'm going to ask you to imagine breathing in the light of the sun. We're going to breathe it in right through the forehead, yellow light right through the forehead. And through the crown of the head, breathe in, imagine yellow light coming in through the forehead and down through the crown of the head and shining in your entire energetic system. Just breathe. The sunlight helps to heal your energetic system. Feel it warming and that light beginning to spread. So nice and bright that it actually begins to shine out of you so that you glow. This beautiful, beautiful light shining out of your system. Now, Tongue of Light is healing. So I'm going to ask you to imagine someone you know who's having a tough time. Breathing in the yellow light from the sun through the forehead and through the crown, and right out of the center of the chest, imagine a star shining white light into the world. Imagine this friend or companion or loved one. Imagine white light shimmering and shining, a white glow all around them. This is a firewall. White light is protective. Breathing nice and easily, imagine their face brightening, becoming more joyful, lines falling away from their face. A sense of healing, both in your heart and in your imagination. See their face brightening. Let's do two more people, two more individuals. Let's find someone else that you would like to surround with white light. Could be someone that you just know or love, could be a companion, could be your partner or a child. Breathe in the yellow light through the crown and through the top of the head. Shine white light out of the heart and imagine them surrounded by white light. Protective, healing light. See their face brightening. See joy in their eyes. This is the last one. Breathing nice and easily, take a look at the planet Earth. You know what the Earth looks like. Imagine the planet Earth breathing in yellow light through the forehead and through the crown, shining white light. You're big enough. Surround the entire Earth with shimmering white light. Breathing slowly and easily. Heart open. Listening carefully. Listening carefully. Listening for the beauty of the moment. Listening for the beauty of the musical love.
Sometimes I am afraid of change. I want things just to stay the same. I think that we're moving too fast when we say forgive the past. So much to learn from each other. We can only make it together. I'll give you a smile. I'll give you a smile. A smile is forgiving. Now is the time for living. World of peace, war will cease. I can see you are me in disguise. Let me open up my eyes. World of peace, war will cease. I can see you are me in disguise. a smile. A smile is forgiving. Now is the time for living. World of peace, war will cease. I can see you are me in disguise. Let me open up my eyes. World of peace, war will cease. I can see you are me in disguise. Let me wipe the tears from your eyes. Let me wipe the tears from your eyes. We can only make it together. We can only make it a world of peace. War will cease. I can see you are me in disguise. Let me open up my eyes. World of peace, war will cease. I can see you are me in disguise. Let me wipe the tears from your eyes. Let me wipe the tears from your eyes. Sometimes I am afraid of change. I want things just to stay the same. But what if peace could come at last? If we chose to forgive the past.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
So I want to thank y'all for coming tonight. I want to thank Drake, and just it's just been lovely.
Can I say one last thing quick?
Yes,
Ira?
please
Yes,
do.
please
We'll
do.
play one
Yeah,
more
yeah.
song.
I just want to leave you all with a couple quick elements. Right now, I did it. It was 2 weeks before the election, and there'll be about a month more. I'm putting up a short video on my YouTube site, which is called Touching the Edge, every day for 40 days, and a short blog post on my website, which is drakepowe.com, POWE.com. It's all around stress reduction and reframing and finding a way to be hopeful during this time. And the last thing I want to say is, if you expect the world to calm, and if you expect the world to turn into a better place, you have to be willing to calm. If you want the world to go into a better place, you have to have hope before it happens. You can't wait till the change happens. And it's what I call a still burning flame. It has to be a hope that does not get blown out. So, and I want to thank you all, and I want to thank you both, Ira and Julia, for your amazing leadership. So thank you.
Oh, we are really blessed to have you in our world.
Just incredible. And we're gonna just do one last song.
And Drake, if you wouldn't mind, in the chat box next over there, if you wouldn't mind putting your what you had just shared with us.
Yeah, Touching the Edge.
Touching the Edge.
If you go into YouTube, it's Touching the Edge.
And I'm glad to answer any questions or give people resources. If you're looking for resources, I study widely, so I can give resources from lots of different religious traditions or non-religious traditions. So, and I'll put that information up here too. So
that's great. And I will say that Tuesday night, was it Tuesday night? Yeah, Tuesday night, the rhythm practice really helped at 3 o'clock in the morning because my mind was racing, and that came in
Was
super
there
handy.
something big happened on Tuesday? I don't.
My takeaway was the jaw. I think relaxing the jaw is very, very important. And we are just gonna say that on the 21st of the month, on Saturday, Julia and I are gonna have an online rally for love. We usually have them in Nyack, but we will have it online, and we'll invite everybody. And we will be doing another one of these. And Drake will come back. We'll have different guests, but Drake will definitely come back. So we'd like to end with a story I can hear, because like you're saying, I mean, if we're expecting the world to be a calmer place, we need to be calmer. And we will be this, as Gandhi would say, be the change you want to see in the world.
And as we know, what we know about all of you that are on with us tonight, you are that energy. We really believe that. We know you. As a matter of fact, I have to admit, during that meditation, I was in Barbara Schiller's kitchen, and I was in Marge and David's living room, and I know some of your spaces, and it was just fun to to connect with all of you. So thanks for connecting with us here. I think that the more we do it, the calmer we can get. I think the better energy that we put out there, the better it can get. So keep joining us. Keep your eyes open for more checking inward. Keep checking in with yourself and reaching out. I think in the very least, if you take anything away this evening, besides all the beautiful things Drake shared with us and the music that we got the chance to share, just reach out to somebody, or ask somebody to reach out to you if you are in need. I think that's what we need to do the most, is continue to stay connected. So thanks for bringing here.
Well, if we see it all as literal, it might end up in a fight. But if we see it as a story, it might work out all right. All right. Let's go out and meet the modern, willing to embrace, see the gold inside the dust, be the change that's taking place. Tell the story I can hear, one that fills my eyes, opens up the skies. I long to tell the story I can hear, one that fills the skies, opens up my eyes, not just for believers or those who think it's true, but it holds me in its arms as it reaches out for you. Reaching out, there's something beyond name, something beyond measure. It sings inside this temporal house built of pain and pleasure. Inside understanding shines a poet's rhyme, eternities in love with the productions of time. All right. Long to tell the story I can hear, one I can hear, one that fills my eyes, opens up the skies. I long to tell the story I can hear, one I can hear, open up my eyes, not just for believers or those who think it's true, but it holds me in its arms as it reaches out for you. Reaching out, it reaches out for you. Reaching out, we're busy telling stories, meanwhile life plays on. It's listening to our verses, it sings all of our songs. One song, our songs, it sings all of our songs. One song, our songs, and not just for believers or those who think it's true, but it holds me in its arms as it reaches out for you.
Our songs, one song. It reaches out for you. Our songs, one song. It reaches out for you. Our songs, one song.
As Drake said, resilience.
Resilience, babe.
Resilience, my friend.
Thank you so much.